Hi, I'm George Miller, and I couldn't make it today because as you're watching this, I'm out somewhere in the centre of Australia preparing a film. But in talking to David Goodrich, I did learn about the driving philosophies behind the wonderful thing that's happening here today, and particularly about the thinking of the inspirational Joe Carolus. And it struck me that the wisdoms that drive this place coincide with my own, because I spent a life fascinated by creativity, both other people's and my own. I had an education pretty traditional in the way that Joe describes it: left brain, rote learning, very little understanding and very little retention. But I did have the fortune, really good fortune, of growing up in a country town and a childhood spent entirely in play. And I shared that childhood with my twin brother, and we were together for 22 years every day. We went through high school together, we went through medical school together, and I became very interested in the way that our minds developed, although ostensibly we had the same life experiences. He went off to become a very fine and compassionate doctor, and I went into a life of filmmaking. And one of the things that drew me to filmmaking was the multidisciplinary, comprehensive creativity, because it wasn't only the acting and the writing and the sound and the cinematography, but I got to work with such an astonishing array of people all over the world, all of them highly creative individuals, whether they were designers and artists and architects and mathematicians and zoologists and physicists. All of them had so much in common, and the best of them were multidisciplinary. Somehow, by exploring things from a lot of different angles, there's a cross-fertilization. And I think an interesting example right at hand is Alex. As wonderful an architect he is, I went to the same school as Alex, and many years ago I saw an extraordinary performance where he played Oedipus in Oedipus Rex, and I can tell you that he could have had as stellar a career as an actor as he has had as an architect. So having worked so long and so intimately with so many artists across all these disciplines, I've tried to understand what drives them. And it is my belief that the creative process is the most efficient way of getting to know yourself, the world you live in, indeed the entire universe, and your place in it. It is, after all, what all learning is about: the search for meaning. And I believe that what's happening here at St. Lucy's, in this place, with this community and your guiding philosophies, that something very special is going to be happening here that can serve as an exemplar to all of us. Indeed, I believe that what you're doing here is heroic in the way that Joseph Campbell defined the hero. He's someone I'm very, very fond of quoting because he was able to encapsulate it in some beautiful sentences. And if you follow this, you'll understand what I mean. He said, "Nor do we have to risk the journey alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have but to follow the thread of the hero's path, and where we had thought to find an abomination, we will find a god." And by that he means only by the courageous confronting of the darkest fears and terrors can we come to any deeper understanding. And then he said, "Where we had thought to slay another, we will slay ourselves," meaning the hero must relinquish self-interest. If the hero is the agent of change, then they must put aside their self-concern for the greater good. And he continued, "Where I had thought to travel outwards, I would come to the centre of myself," meaning through exploration, there will be self-knowledge. And finally, where I had thought to be alone, I will be with all the world. I believe what's happening here at St. Lucy's will prove to be an inspiration to all of us. So I wish everyone really good luck. Thank you.